them apart, but now they're together. They're two wacky gringos in all kinds of weather. When it's sunny, they're funny. When it's rainy, they're zany. They're two gringos who sometimes do bits. Okay, hi, good after, evening, morning, noon. I'm Patrick.
Good everything. I'm Mike Schwartz, and happy to see you again.
Happy to see you.
Or for the first time.
We are two Bit Gringos. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing good. That's an international sign for two, or dose, as we say.
Dose. Yeah. As in 2 more beers, please, and something for my friend.
Actually, I'm lying. I don't know about you, but we are at the point of the quarantine where everything just hurts. It's just like from nothing. I mean, we're just laying around, sitting around from disuse, from.
Wow.
I don't know. What about you?
Disuse. Well, I've been trying to keep myself busy. We did have a little adventure here in Los Angeles the other night. A wild, crazy guy tried to break into the house next door.
Oh.
And as Johnny Carson used to say, a wild hoolie man. And I saw the neighbors running out of their house, run across the street, and calling the police. And I heard a ruckus, I heard a lot of noise next to the house. And I went out the back door, and I heard this. At first, I thought it was like a wild animal going nuts up behind the fence, up behind the yard. It slopes up a hill, and then there's a kind of a preserve area, a wild area up there. And I heard this, and the guy was knocking stuff over and breaking things. Wow. It sounded a little like Mark Hire, actually, but it wasn't. So we had the helicopter and the police and it was Baghdad all over again. It was just
a helicopter. They sent a helicopter for a guy in the backyard.
LAPD is one of the largest air forces in the world. And
wow,
if you call on anything like that, they've got like 11 helicopters in the air all the time. And
11?
Yeah, it's nuts. Maybe not 11, but something like that, It's a lot. And so the helicopter was here a good 20 minutes before the ground units showed up.
But what? Oh, the helicopter like shines a light on the guy? What is
he hovers over. They got the night sun. They got the forward-looking infrared. They caught the guy up the street about an hour later. But it was weird.
Thinking in my experience in New York, and I love the police. Everybody knows that.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking if you said, "Hey, there's a guy," you call up the police. There's a guy. He's like in my backyard. And he's making noises. They'd be like, "All right, like what do you want us to do about it, right? You know what I'm talking about? Like, all right, we'll send somebody over and check it out." And 20 minutes later.
This guy was actually
a car and a flashlight. A guy with a flashlight. And not a helicopter and a tank and.
Lucky the SWAT team didn't come out for that.
SWAT team, guys coming down on the ropes,
Yeah, that happened. I have seen that. Yes. The guy actually, though, he did try to break into their house while they were in it, and in fact, at one point, the wife. What I understand, the wife of the homeowner
a helicopter
pointed a gun at him, and
he had a gun. Okay.
Well, the wife of the homeowner had a gun.
That. Oh, the wife had a gun.
Yeah, but then I guess she got scared and dropped the gun and ran out of the house. I don't know what happened to the gun, but there were no guns found. Anyway, it's all resolved.
I don't think she understands the reason for having the gun. You don't drop the gun. It's like, oh my God, he's running around my backyard. I better drop the gun and go outside.
We don't know what happened.
Of it, I'm sure your neighbors are fine, upstanding people.
Yeah, they're Great. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to say anything, untoward. Who knows who might see this eventually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, what? Speaking of wild hooly men, maybe we should bring on our first guest.
You should. The wildest.
This guy, ladies and gentlemen, our Mark Heyer is this guy. He's our guest, and he was. Many people don't realize this. The original model for Mr. Clean. So I think he's got that going for him. He's done everything. He's studied under the brilliant one. Oh, man, look at this. He's got his own mask. Brilliant.
Hey, man, they got a little button that says, test speaker, test video. And then mine's got a button that says test COVID, so I figured I better not take any chances.
Oh, good action. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Is it safe, man? You guys are cool? Take it off, man? Is it cool? Okay.
I've never seen the aquarium mask before. That's the first for me.
That's cool.
There it is, man. Yeah.
Our hard of hearing viewers can read your lips.
That's exactly right. That's the problem with masks.
Hi, Mark. How are you today?
I'm good, man.
Good.
How are you?
Good. Nice to see you.
Mike, good to see you.
It looks to me like you're in your workshop area. Some kind of.
Where else would I be?
Yeah.
Mark is a mad scientist. Well, he's not really mad. He's just a little ticked off sometimes.
Don't push it. You might be sorry.
Yeah, well. No, I mean, you're an inventor, a creator, a maker.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
And the mask you're sporting there is one you designed yourself.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, the problem with masks is they haven't been reinvented in like 200 years.
No.
And when you're wearing a mask, you can't breathe, and you're breathing your own air back in, and oh my God, you can't talk, you can't see the person you're talking to. It sucks, basically. Everybody agrees they suck. So I decided to do something about it. So this is my version of, I call it the cannula mask or the scuba mask. Fits on like this. Little nose piece sits over here. The filters are back here. The air comes from here and goes there, comes out. Your mouth is covered so you're not spitting on people. That's the point of having the mask. And you can wear it all day. It's very comfortable, no problem.
Wow.
And you're breathing fresh air all the time.
So when you exhale, where is the air going?
It goes out here. Whoops! It goes out here.
Oh.
And this is nothing but a headband, a sweatband that you wear around your head. And there's a hollow tube in it, so the air comes out here and goes out through the sweatband.
So yeah, so it's kind of like a scuba, like a No, yeah. What do they call that? Not scuba, but
oh, brilliant! Yeah, snorkel. It's like a snorkel.
Yeah,
snorkel.
Sort of like a snorkel.
It's like a snorkel.
I'm making another one, so here I can show you this one. This is the nose piece of it, right?
Okay.
Wow.
This is the part.
That's pretty interesting.
And so the air goes out here, so it goes on your nose like that.
Ah.
And you breathe that way.
Brilliant.
That's the principle.
Oh, that's great.
And it doesn't fog up your glasses, and it doesn't cause trouble.
And for a limited time, if you subscribe to our channel, you can buy one of these masks for only $29.99.
$129.99.
$129.99.
The bad news.
Yes.
The bad news I have for you is that we haven't even published this yet, but in China, they're already copying that mask.
I knew.
They've already made 20 million of those masks.
I knew Zoom had a back door.
Yeah.
Oh, several, I'm sure, and a side door too.
Yeah, and a side door. Anyway, so I don't want to make these damn things. I'm custom making them now. I'm setting up in the other room to 3D print them. So I have a 3D printer, so I can do that. That'll help. But right now they're custom fitted.
Yeah.
You make this part and you put it on here and you mold it to your nose, and it fits.
Great.
And it basically hangs on your nose, so there's no pressure against your head or anything.
Nice. Looks comfortable.
It's very comfortable. You can wear it all
I
day.
have to say that is absolutely the best invention any guest has brought to this show.
Yes, I agree.
Well, it's also the only invention, but it is the best. It is by far.
I had on the flights back here, right? I wore a paper mask for 20 hours straight.
It sucks.
And the only actually, the only real bad part about it was my ears started to hurt from the rubber band.
Yeah.
In fact, this part got really sore by the
Yeah,
time
that's
I got
right. Right there. That's right.
So that would fix that problem as well.
First one I made went over here, and I discovered that real quick. So this goes right around your neck, right?
Yeah,
Around here,
yeah,
no
brilliant.
problem.
All right.
There's going to be a whole new type of medicine to work on that problem. You know, that ear rubber
Sure.
band mask ear problem. You know, it's
You
in
need
medical
piercing.
schools are going to, yeah, it's going to be totally
You
different.
need piercings right here and little carabiners.
Oh, there you go. A couple, but they're down here.
That's what the millennials have, you know, ahead of us. They have all the piercings to hold all the masks.
There you go. Hold your masks on. Boop boop.
Yeah.
Hey, that'd be pretty funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would.
Yeah.
Mark, you're living there in beautiful Boquete, Panama, in the Cherokee Highlands,
Yeah.
the western end of the country. How long have you been there? How long have you lived there?
12 years. Yeah, I've been here 12 years, honey. I ain't going back anytime soon. Yeah, 12 years we've been here.
Wow.
And,
What made you move there? Why'd you pick Boquete?
It was on the list for the Witness Protection Program.
Excellent. Excellent.
And basically, it was 2008. The world was going to crash. We knew that. You know, we decided it was time to get out of Dodge. And and we looked around. We've been all over the world. You know, Thailand, really nice country, great culture, good food. Can't buy property. Can't understand the language. No matter what you do, you know, you're not going to be accepted there at all. And same thing. You know, New Zealand, same thing. You can't get in.
Can't understand the language.
Can't understand the language. No, you know. And beautiful country, fantastic place, but you know, not good. The rest of Latin America is kind of so-so. Martine's got a brother. My wife has a brother in Argentina, and we know what that's like. And we've been to all the other countries. So Panama's a great place. Uses the dollar. That's a good thing. Respects private property. Has a semblance of democracy.
Wow.
You know, no military. No revolution has ever happened here. The people are very peaceful and calm. There's, you know, guns are not a thing. So it's a good place to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
How are things in LA?
Everything that Boquete is not. Yeah, guns are a thing. Revolution is a thing. Yeah, you know, you're so prescient, Mark. You moved in 2008, and only 12 short years later,
yeah,
society's collapsing.
There it is. Well, you know, I came from California. I grew up in Palo Alto and lived on the East Coast for a while. But you know, my father started talking about this. It's, you know, time for the Republic of New California. Yeah. And Gavin Newsom, in every frickin' talk he makes, it talks about the nation state of California.
Yeah.
What's he hinting at there?
Well, you know,
if things really get bad, screw him.
We got a state's got a multi-billion-dollar surplus in its coffers. It pays more into the federal government than it takes out.
Hello.
We've got the 7th largest economy in the world. So, yeah, right. Why not? Let's just stake out on our own here.
And, you know, you hook up with Washington and Oregon and British Columbia, and my God, you've got the Saudi Arabia of pot. You know?
There you go.
And then you hook up with Mexico, and you annex Baja. You run an interstate down that sucker, only it would be a California state, I guess.
Yeah.
Turn it over to Hyatt and Disney to develop, and you'd have $1 trillion tourist paradise down there.
Hey, that's why, you know, you should run for governor next time.
Wait, hold on. My phone's ringing. It's Gavin.
Yeah, Gavin's calling.
Mark is not only inventing masks, he's inventing new countries. Even as
why not? What else have we got to do here?
Always be creating.
Yeah.
The ABC.
BC.
Wow. That's very cool. Well, part of why we wanted to have you on the show was because you've done a lot of things. You've studied and have been tutored under a variety of famous individuals. Ray and Charles Eames, for example. Ansel Adams, for example. Your photography is amazing. I mean, you got so many layers. You're like a big delicious cake, Mark, with all
Yeah.
kinds of luscious fillings.
And all I can think about now is my damn prostate. Yeah, well, so what would you like to talk about?
Nothing. I'm out of ideas.
Nothing.
I'm curious. I studied photography. I'm not actually not a photographer any longer, but what's this connection with Ansel Adams? I didn't know anything about that.
Oh, well, okay. So if you want, if you got the guts, hold on one second here.
Uh-oh. Here comes
uh-oh.
something.
Something is coming. I just need to get this thing off of my thing. Okay.
And maybe you can say a few words about who he was, because I do know, but I think I would botch it pretty well.
Some
You might have a better.
Well, okay. So I got a brief resume here, if you're interested.
Oh yeah, sure.
And it involves photography. So hold on. I want to get this thing.
Okay.
Exit full screen. Okay. Now I can get this frickin' thing to go. Hold on.
Okay, use your words, Mark.
I'm
use your
doing my
words.
best, guys. Okay, hold on. I'll be there in a second. There we go. Okay. Now
that's the sound of people clicking exit.
exit. Okay, so
Bit Gringos, yeah, for a while.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about photography. So when I started photography when I was 8 years old, because I wanted to photograph, my model rockets, doing simulated moon landings in my bedroom, right?
Uh-huh.
But my allowance was only 25 cents a week, so I couldn't exactly afford a camera. So I found an old broken camera in the garbage, and I replaced the lens with a pinhole lens, and I used it, and I learned how to develop film in my mother's baking trays in the attic. And so that was my start of photography career, right?
Wow.
10 years later, which was in 1967, I was admitted to the elite photography program at Art Center College of Design in Los Angeles, where you are.
Very familiar with it, yes.
Yeah. Now, Ansel Adams was a very famous photographer. He's probably the best known photographer in the United States and perhaps in the world right now. There's been a lot of good photographers, but he really sort of is best known. The school I went to is where he taught and where he developed his methods. And so even though he was finished teaching then, I got to learn his methods. And then he was living in Yosemite for all that time. His pictures are these great pictures of landscapes and stuff that he took in Yosemite. So I got to go to Yosemite and hang out and learn from him directly during that time in the late 60s before he. So I learned about the way he does photography and what he does. The trouble is with photography. So that was great. I graduated from Art Center, and I immediately went into the film business, like from Friday to Monday. Still photography. Okay, that's nice, but film is really where it's at. Film is a lot more fun. And I ended up working in pretty short order at the American Film Institute on their very first round of grant films. And I met Francis Coppola and George Lucas and all those guys who were just graduating from college at that time. Worked on George Lucas's first movie, THX 1138. And that was a possible path for me. But I was really interested in computers, and computers were not part of the film industry in the 1960s. They were years down the road.
Not a bit.
And Charles Eames had turned me on to this idea that, well, you could control images with computers. Charles Eames, from the Eames chair is one of his things, but he was a prolific designer.
Designer, architect.
Everything. Yeah. He was a kind of guy. And actually, I looked at him and his wife, Ray, and the relationship they had, and I said, that's how I want to live. That's what I want for my life. And
wow.
Gracias a Dios, pretty much it worked out that way.
Cool.
But photography was going, photography, for anything you're doing, you can have three things: better, faster, and cheaper, right? Better, faster, and cheaper. Pick two, right? So photography picked faster and cheaper.
Uh-huh.
Roll film was not as good as sheet film, but it was faster and cheaper.
Right.
Digital photography came along, and it was way not better than
Right.
film, but it was way faster and way cheaper, right?
Right.
So photography, as far as I'm concerned, as an art form in the way that Ansel Adams practiced it, has been in a dark ages, up until very, very recently.
Yeah.
What happened recently is that in around 2009, it became possible to actually start using Ansel Adams's techniques with digital cameras, because it's called HDR now, high dynamic range recording.
Right.
And what it means is taking several pictures, one overexposed, one normal, and one underexposed, and then combining them to create a full dynamic range image where you can see everything that's actually out there, as opposed to a little slice where half of it is too bright and half of it is too dark, which is what most digital photographs look like. So in 2009, I started doing that. And then in 2018, 9 years later, it finally became possible to start doing it on an
Here it comes.
iPhone.
The iPhone.
iPhone. And that's what I've been doing since then. And now with the iPhone 11, it's really reached that's a landmark camera in the history of photography. It's extremely good at doing HDR. You can forget about exposure. You don't need to worry about exposure. You don't need to worry about shutter speed. You don't need to worry about any of that crap. It can do it 1,000 times better than you can.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like the difference in cars going from a BMW to a Tesla, And the BMW guys say, it doesn't have the speed. What could it become a car if it doesn't have transmission? Well, actually, the Tesla is way, way faster than a BMW. It doesn't need a transmission.
Yeah.
So you don't need to worry about the details of how the picture is taken. The camera knows what you're doing. It knows if your hand is shaking. It knows if the subject's moving. It can track what's going on. It can adjust. I took one just the other day of a bee, a close-up of a bee in a thing.
I saw that one. Yeah. Great shot. Yeah.
Perfect.
Amazing.
Point and shoot.
Yeah.
Point and shoot. The camera knows what you're trying to do, and it does it for you. And it does it way better than you could ever do it manually. So I am happy as hell.
So technology's finally caught up with art.
Technology has finally caught up with the art, and we can finally move photography now forward into an artistic medium. Which is what I'm all about now.
It's an interesting thing. I mean, for our viewers who may not know this, Ansel Adams used a giant format camera. I mean, this thing was huge. I mean, it took 3 men and a Sherpa and a woolly mammoth to lug it up the hill, right? And
8 by 10 film.
Yeah. And now you've got this, right?
Yeah.
It's an amazing world that we're in. Yeah.
And it's still moving forward.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, the DSLR is basically dead. It's a dead issue now. The Nikon sales of interchangeable lens cameras decreased 61%, 60%, more than 60% in the last year.
Wow.
1 year. In 1 year.
Wow.
And that's after falling 80% since 2012, which was the peak. So the sales of interchangeable lens cameras now today is around where the sales of film cameras was in 1965. They're basically not much.
I am so frightened right now. When you said that the phone knows what you want to do and can do what you want to do more than you could do, I'm like, oh crap, this technology is it's kind of scary, because I not to the extent that you did, but I did study photography and did process my own film and had I think a 4x5 camera, not an 8x10, and oh my God, it's just when I went the other way, when digital cameras came out, I kind of said, this is not for me. I worked a bit with film and laboratories, and you would send the film out and you would do that, take one under, one over, and one try to get the correct exposure. It's a whole different world, which I'm happy you have embraced and I have pushed away from.
You're out of that world. You're done with that.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, well, it's like cars, There are people who still like British sports cars. They like adjusting the valves, adjusting the carburetor, setting the timing. They like doing it. And I learned how to do all that crap, but hey, On a Tesla, you don't have frickin' valves. Who cares? It's a better
It's
car.
only, it's only great if
Yeah,
you still like doing it, then it's
if
fine.
you like doing it, that's right.
Yeah.
But in your example too, I never even got up to the BMW level, let alone the Tesla level. I'm,
We're
in fact,
talking,
in
talking
fact, the
MG.
last time I went back to the United States in Thanksgiving, this past Thanksgiving of I guess 2019, and I borrowed a relative's car, and the car had a push button thing, and we didn't have a key. I mean, it had a key, but it was not the traditional key. I didn't even know how to operate this car. I didn't know how to start it. I didn't know how to do anything, and I felt so out of it. I'm sitting there with this nice car, and I had to call up. How do you start this thing? And
Well,
I couldn't figure out how to move the seats. I couldn't figure out anything. It was so advanced.
And the worst is just down the road. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to have a self-driving car, and it's going to be great. You can get in the car and say, hey, take me to the grocery store. And the car will take you to the grocery store, like Alexa, right? Yeah. And you don't have to do anything about it. But then you're going to say, hey, take me to the pizza parlor. And the car's going to say, I'm sorry, Mike, but you are not allowed to have more pizza. You've had 2 pizzas this week. You are not allowed to have more pizzas on your diet. I'm taking you to the tofu parlor instead.
I would disable that feature immediately.
Right. Wow.
Right. I mean, how long?
And that's not even a conspiracy theory. That's probably accurate.
You are way too fat for pizza. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to get a gelato. Oh no, you wouldn't. Your car is telling you. No, I'm afraid not.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So here's what's happening already. In that we were in Europe, and some friends of ours came to hang out with us, and they had a car, and it was just an ordinary, Infinity or something like that, and we're driving around. And he says, and you go over the line, and the car beeps at you. If you go over the center line, right? Beep, 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 and back you go. And I said, well, that's pretty cool. He said, well, it's sort of cool. Every time it does that, it reports it to the insurance company. Right?
Oh.
Every time you have a hard braking, it reports it to the insurance company.
Wow.
And they send you an email at the end of the week and rate your frickin' driving. And if they say, oh, you were not doing so well this week, another week like that, and your rates go up.
Ooh.
Wow.
Little brother, forget big brother. Little brother is watching.
That's here now, folks.
Yeah.
I do not want to be a part of that future, really.
Well,
that's why I'm happy here in Panama.
Your car spies on you. Your phone spies on you. Every month, I get an email from Google that says, "Here's your Google timeline for review." And if I open it, it'll show me all the places I've been, even though I didn't take a picture, I didn't check in, I didn't even go online. But I did have my phone with me.
Yeah.
And your cars, all modern cars spy on you. They don't necessarily report to your insurance company, but they have black boxes and they record hard brake and anything that goes on.
Well, it makes sense because this was an accident. It's like a flight recorder in an airplane. You want to know what happened. You want to know if it was the car that screwed up or the person. And so the car companies, to save their own ass because they've been sued for unintended acceleration bullshit, well, why not? Of course they're going to do it.
It's all about CYA.
Yeah.
Cover your assets.
Next is the microwave ovens.
No. What about
they're not going to heat up food for you?
No, they're not. And actually, I wrote a little story. Do you want a little 1-minute story about this? A cautionary tale?
Good, because that's about how much time we have left. Okay.
Yeah. So, early this morning, our security cameras recorded a rogue washing machine skulking under the deck. It was already filled with contraband from the refrigerator, and it was in the process of stealing bananas. This morning, when the sun came up, we were able to discover a trail of socks held hostage for years, but they managed to escape as the washer agitated and spun its way through the woods. The refrigerator, a likely co-conspirator, is currently being interrogated under the hot lights in hopes that its compressor will break down and spill the beans before the ice cream melts. All the other household appliances have been detained for questioning about their role in the conspiracy. The ovens, the dishwasher, the toasters, the microwaves, the electric lights, the freezer, the fans, the garbage disposal, the water heaters, the clocks, the vacuum cleaners, the electric toothbrushes, the razors, hair dryers, sewing machines, air conditioners and heaters, coffee grinders and wine openers, the garage door, and the security lights are all under suspicion. Down at the shop, all the power tools profess ignorance, but the air compressor and its minions, the saws, drills, screwdrivers, welders, and torches, sledgehammers and hammer drills, sanders, paint sprayers, shapers, and grinders are all being closely watched. The main circuits have been turned off and the generator put in lockup where we can keep an eye on it. The internet has been pulled and the computers are disgorging the contents of their hard drives, email, Facebook, and Twitter accounts. So far, no sign of the washing machine or its intentions. That washing machine must be found and recycled as an example, lest all the others join the insurrection and we lose our grip on human civilization itself. The footnote is, but if the robots revolt, oh doctor, what's going to become of people? God knows, Madam Helena, God knows. And that was from the 1920 play by Carol Kopek, R.U.R., Rossum's Universal Robots, in which the term robot was invented.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Cool, huh?
Wow. Excellent. Thank you. That was an excellent dramatic reading.
Dramatic Italy.
Future is now. Well, I'm working myself. I'm working on my own invention. I'm crossing my laptop with the microwave. That way I can email you a pizza.
Yeah, email pizza.
That sounds like a great invention right
I
there.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me know. I can email martinis.
Really, yeah. Oh boy, it's almost that time. Mark, man, thank you for joining us today. I mean,
Yeah,
this has
thank
been a lot
you.
of fun.
We only have 5 minutes left.
Yeah, I know. Well, we got a little wrap up time, and then I'm going out after this. Well, you'll probably hear it on the show when it's uploaded. But I'm going out after this. We're going to record the theme song to the Bit Gringos show. So
Yeah. You're going out to record it after this little wrap up.
Yes, after this is wrapped up. But the miracle of editing, I can edit it in, and everything I've just said will sound like nonsense.
No. Like it came out of a microwave. Oh,
Great that you brought that up.
That microwave over
really
here.
Everything I say sounds like nonsense anyway, so what difference does it make?
Cool. Well, people should know that Bouquet is a great place. I mean, just to put a cap on this thing, you asked me why.
Yeah, wait a minute. It is a great place, but let's not forget the massive insects that you could find here. This is my one man. I don't know.
Crusade?
Mission. It's my crusade. My mission is to tell people, I love Boquete. I love it here, but I don't want them to be surprised when they get here that they're going to one day at least find some kind of crazy looking insect in their home or outside or around. They're not going to know what it is, and they're not going to know if it's deadly or not. And just a warning. Just say, oh yeah, Mike, you said that, and now it's happened.
We have this thing called the mother-in-law bugs. Well, the insects, they like gringos. They like newcomers. And if you've been here a while, yeah, they do. If you've been here a while,
coffee flies generally tend to stop biting you after you've been here for a month or so or more. I've been there. Sorry, I'm not there. I'm here, but I wish I was there. Well, yeah, it is a great place. You're right.
I did come home one night, and I'll repeat this as much as necessary. There was this massive thing on the outside wall that was a combination lobster spider. I don't know what it is. I've never seen anything like it before. It was on the wall, and I came home, and I don't want to deal with those kinds of things anyway. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to deal with it tomorrow because it's on the outside. It's not on the inside. And when I came outside the next day, it was gone. So that was a good ending.
That's a good thing.
It was really like a science fiction-y lobster spider combo.
Did you check in your sock? Did you check in your sock drawer?
No, but there was another time there was a snake in my house, and I also didn't want to deal with it at the time, and I came out and it was also gone. I had to go somewhere, and I came back,
what color was it?
I don't remember. I have a picture of it somewhere in my old phone, but I don't know. It wasn't one of those colored, red, yellow, black. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the really deadly snakes then.
Yeah.
I came down one night to work on my computer at 4 a.m. You know, it's kind of dark in the room, and I'm sitting there keep typing away, and I feel this kind of slithery thing, you know, down by my thumbs at the bottom of the keyboard, and I kind of picked it up and realized it was a snake. And in fact, it was one of those red and yellow things, right? It was
So we have
under
to
my
say
keyboard.
goodbye. Time is up. So thanks again, Mark.
Mark,
Okay,
thank you for
see you
joining us. It's been great. The rule in the
Go get
cooking,
it. Go get it.
the rule is if you don't know what it is, don't touch it.
Don't touch
Don't
it.
All right. And gentlemen, it's been fabulous. I will see you soon, I hope. And I hope you all have a great
Yeah,
week.
come on back here, man. We miss you.
I miss you too. All right, guys. Thank you.
All right.
See you later, guys.